Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my corner of the internet. My name is Jason and today we're back with some more Elder Scrolls 2, Daggerfall. Last time we came back to, I don't even remember the name of the place anymore, or we've been here for so long, Woodbourne Hall, right? Yes. We've come to Woodbourne Hall to, we'll say, enact justice, to claim justice for King Lysandus, and, while trying to do that, we've been navigating this giant dungeon, because this place is actually pretty sprawling. There's a lot of different, we'll say, holes and paths, and it's kind of like all over the place. And while I've grown a little bit tired of it, I'm ready to, see something new and get out of this dungeon and get on with the rest of the quest. There's a certain something about it that I kind of admire, I kind of like. There are enemies nearby, so I'm going to drop on down and probably try to shoot them with some arrows. Huzzah! I see you behind that door. If I sneak up to the door, can I go ahead and shoot you with my arrows? There we go. Yes. All right, so we'll just hit this person here a few times with some arrows. Took out the warrior. Excellent. And I hear something scary in I don't know if it's in this room or if it's just nearby. All right, I don't really see anything. I can't take that back. What is this? A dwarven short bow. Didn't I was thinking about getting rid of my dwarven short bow, but then I decided to keep it because, I don't know why, reasons. I'm a little bit disappointed though. I dropped down into a hole. I was expecting to get to, a completely new area with new things to see and maybe just a regular walking path. But, it makes me wonder, okay, no, there is a path over here, okay. Because I was gonna say, am I gonna be stuck? Like, do I necessarily need to fly back out of the hole? And that's actually one thing I've liked about this dungeon. It's not because it's difficult to navigate, but because, crap. Okay, there we go. Not because it's difficult to navigate, but because of the verticality, because there's a bit of a difference to how this dungeon plays versus some of the other ones we've been in. Like I said, I don't really want much from Daggerfall. I just want, a little bit of variety. And I feel like this is kind of satisfying it. I hear some water. Are we about to get to like a pool of water? Ah, we've arrived at a cave section of Woodbourne Hall. It's very, what the heck? I just heard a door open. Ah, there was a secret door that I missed. Hello, secret door, where are you? Was it a secret door? Did I just miss it? I don't see anything in here. That's the way I came from. Right up there. Up there. Okay, there we go. Where are you at? Secret door. There you are. Now, I'm wondering, because I'm sitting here and kind of going, this place is completely unlikely. The entire structure of this dungeon, I'm like, really, who would have a dungeon like this, a large castle with this sort of layout, especially with as few people as are in it? Like, it's just full of monsters. And I've actually thought about this a few times while I've been playing the game, but I don't really think I voiced those thoughts. How, while I'm playing the game, you go into a place that's supposed to be a castle. It's supposed to be like a fortress for like some guy or some whoever. Right now it happens to be Lord Woodbourne. But the problem is it doesn't feel like a fortress for Lord Woodbourne. It feels like just a normal dungeon. And I think that's part of the problem. If maybe, even if you kept the same textures, let's just say we kept the same textures, if at least each dungeon kind of reflected what it was supposed to be. This is supposed to be like a hall. I'm assuming like a home for this Woodbourne fellow. So why are there not more bedrooms? It should be laid out in a fashion that is reminiscent, or at least indicative. I think I said that correctly. Of it being a residence, a place, this guy lives. And, even the enemies, for the most part, this one's actually not too bad. Like, there's a lot of human, like, guards, and I think, you know, in that respect, it does a good job of picking the correct, we'll say, enemies to throw at you. But, you know, still, all these wraiths, I'm like, you know, we've got this this issue where we're like, Daggerfall's being haunted by King Lysander's, holy crap, it's the end of the world. But then the question comes up, you know, we have all these other places strewn out, you know what I'm trying to get at, all over the place. You know, these castles and these keeps and these other things that are just haunted to the max. That's a new term. I mean, yeah, we're going to be using that. It's haunted to the max. You know, they've got wraiths, we've got ghosts, you know, we've got monsters sort of here. And you know, part of the problem is it's because your freaking castles are too darn huge and you don't got enough guards to sort of manage things. So, you know, you've got all these sort of creatures sort of walking into your place and taking up residence because your homes are too large. You know, you can't maintain your control over the entire area. Either that, or the guy is just, you know, he's in cahoots with orcs. He's like, hey, I want to have some orcs hanging out in my place. And I don't know, he's conjuring wraiths. He's like, I like the soothing sounds of monsters screaming in my ear at night. Like, basically, if they can't make things more varied, at least make things make sense. There we go. I think that sort of sums up my thoughts rather well. Just make things make more sense. But like I said, admittedly, this one has not been doing too bad. There's a lot of human opponents. You know, that's the kind of thing that I would expect to be facing off against in this place. Oh, thank you for revealing the secret door to me. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a good shot at you before you come out. No. There we go. Here you come. Let's put some arrows into you, increase my archery skill because I want to increase my archery skill. I'm stuck on a wall. That's cool though. You're dead. The barbarian just died. What have we got here? Elven short bow. I'm pretty sure once you've got this, I can use. I think I can use it. It's just what? No! A buckler. +1 armor rating. Okay, this one here is 2.5 kilograms. It's obviously Daedric, but stat-wise, it provides me no benefit to my old one. Okay, let's remove the old one, and I can't take this one. I can't take the shiny one, because it's probably, what, 0.5? Too heavy? Guess what? Dwarven longbow? You've gotta go. We're gonna remove that. We're gonna go ahead and take the nice shiny Daedric shield, which really isn't gonna offer me any sort of benefit. Actually, that might not be true. I just thought about this. While the stat, it's still only gonna give me a +1 armor bonus, which is pitiful and frankly makes me kind of sad. I wonder, is the durability gonna be better? Which doesn't really matter because my other shield has not lost any durability. It was still listed as new, despite me having that for quite a while. I think I may have replaced it once, so... holy crap! Sorry, people, if I got loud in your ear. That lady scared me. She just came out of nowhere with her battle axe thing. Okay, I can't carry any more arrows, that's fine. We're just gonna keep using our arrows up. We're finding some decent equipment. What level am I at? I keep forgetting. 13, I think? Yes, we're level 13. Can I rest? There's still enemies nearby. Why are there always enemies nearby? Seriously. But, yeah, I'm trying to figure out what is the benefit to me having this shield. Because at this point, I basically just took the shield because, hey, it's red. So that means it's better, right? Because red means Daedric. And I like Daedric because Daedric is generally better. But really, I get no advantage bonus-wise. Hey, mommy, how's it going? I get no bonus-wise armor. Armor-wise? Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. And it's just heavier than my other one. So I don't know. Maybe there's some benefit. I'm gonna go ahead and look around on the interwebs and try to find out maybe if there's a reason why you would choose a heavier shield that doesn't really give you any more bonuses or any more notable bonuses. Okay. So Okay, you know, I think I figured out a trick here. Basically, when I'm point blank, I find that I can't really hit. And I suspect that this is because... Oh, it's a map. I'll take... A finely drawn vellum reveals the secret location of Perryware Laboratory, which you record. That's amazing. I'm very glad to hear that. I'm wondering... And I'm actually wondering if this is a bug that's presenting itself as a feature. When the guy's up close and you fire the arrow, it misses, right? It's just something that's happened to me repeatedly. But I wonder if it's not stealth and archery is improved. Excellent. I wonder if it's not something necessarily that is in the game intentionally, like, oh, when the enemy's really close, your chance of hitting is going to go down the crapper. I wonder if the arrow, the origin of the arrow, is actually a little bit further ahead of you than where the enemies typically like to stand when they're attacking you. So, because watch, I'll back up real quick, and the second I back up and I fire, I'm able to actually hit them. And it seems I'm hitting them every time. I was able to pick up some gold, which means I'm definitely shedding some weight with these arrows. How many arrows do I even have left? 7 arrows. You know what? At this point, let's switch back to our sword and board, our wakizashi and buckler. There we go. Sure. We're gonna switch back to that, and we'll keep going. With only 7 arrows, I'm like, yeah, we're just gonna go back to stabby for the time being, and then you know, after I go ahead and unencumber myself, we'll be able to go ahead and start packing up, grabbing arrows again. I'm curious, actually, though. Primary stealth is up to 113%. Wow, nice. Okay, and the archery is up to 15%. I believe that's what, a 1%. 1%. It's 1% increase over what it was before. So we went from 14 up to 15%. Okay, there's another hole and there's another lever, which tells me an elevator is going to come down. So there's an elevator up on an upper floor. Man, we're really far from the entrance. Okay. So I either jump across or I take the elevator to a different area. I'm gonna just jump across. And oh, whoa. We have a wall thing here, which is... This could be altered by the lever as well. I'm pretty sure that lever, though, that lever there was going to be for the elevator, so... let's go ahead and use this lever. That's gonna bring the elevator down. We're gonna catch the elevator down. And then we're probably going to catch it all the way back up again. And on either the top floor or the floor that we're about to go to, there's probably going to be a lever or something that is going to move that wall. I suspect that wall is where we want to go. What the heck are you? Are you like a Spriggan or a Dryad? It looks like that. Let's just backstab it. Let's not wait and find out what it might be. Yeah, Spriggan, you just died because, well, yes, a blade to the back does tend to have that effect on things and people. Hey guys, going. He said, where did you come from? Let me see here. I'm surprised there's not more corpses with blood on them. Like when you're looting the corpse and it's like there's blood. I feel like there should be blood on every single corpse. There we go. My goodness, I can't talk. See, there we go. We got some more blood here. Giant's blood, werewolf's blood. Oh wait, that was on the ground. Never mind. I'm just being an idiot. Okay, let's see here. Wait, that's the way I came, and now we're going down this hallway. You know, I should do... just to illustrate a point, I should just go into my videos, grab a random, we'll say image, or grab some random footage of me in a dungeon. Just put them all together, and then just have people guess which dungeon I was in when I took that video. It would just really illustrate my point. But you know, I'm beating a dead horse. This poor horse has been like, it's been beat to death, and it's been, I don't know, it's undead now. Okay. Let's see, what kind of bow? We got a steel short bow. That's totally worth it. We should totally grab that. Now, is it a wraith in the room? What's in the room? There's something scary nearby. I just know it. Okay, nothing here. Wait. This dungeon seems to like secret doors. I've noticed a lot of the areas seem to have secret doors. So I wanted to make sure. I wanted to jump into my map screen and look around a little bit just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, dead end. Good. I like dead ends. For the reason that, you know, a dead end means that I'm not there's not like another fork in the road, another Y, another, you know, series of hallways that I need to explore before I know where I'm going. Okay, let's go back to the elevator. Let's go on all the way up the elevator this time. Let's see what was on the top floor before we explore the bottom floor anymore. Just because, I don't know, I see this wall right here, and I'm like, there's gotta be something behind there. That's probably where I want to be, so there's gotta be something nearby. Thanks, game. Yeah, thanks. Alright, remember kids, when you're getting off the elevator, do not do so sneakily, because then you will slip through the cracks. It reminds me, when I was a kid, I used to be scared of getting off the elevator. That and escalators, those things freaked me the heck out. Like, it was, I don't know, it was like I was scared that my foot or some part of my clothing was gonna get caught in the escalator, or and then I would get torn under, or which, you know, I'm pretty sure my clothes would give out before, you know, I was sucked through, you know. I don't think I should have really needed to worry about that, but elevators, yeah, there was that idea that you look into the crack. Holy crap, I didn't even see you. You look into the crack, and you start thinking, you know, that blackness, that's... I can see straight down to the bottom of the shaft. Holy crap, a Daedric Daikatana! Daedric stuff, I need to be taking Daedric stuff! Okay. Well, what have we got here? An adamantium longsword. Let's go ahead and remove the longsword, because we don't need the longsword, because... there we go. Because the longsword, I think, is pretty much as useless to us as a Daikatana. As far as our usability, it's considered a long blade, right? So, my thinking goes, well, we can get rid of the lesser of the long blades and replace it with the better of the long blades, and there we go. Then I end up with, you know, my Daedric Daikatana that I can fall back on should things get really bad. Alright, I guess if they get really, really bad, then I can just go back to hand, which I don't know if I necessarily want to train up all that much. Now, you know, I kind of, after I went ahead, holy crap, shut up, please. You know, since I've been a werewolf, I don't know if I've necessarily, you know, I've kind of alluded to it a little bit. We've talked about what that means for me, game mechanic-wise. Holy crap, there's a lot of elevators. You know, did I say at the beginning I like the verticality of this dungeon? Because I lied. I'm pretty sure I lied at the beginning of this video. Yeah, I'm fairly certain I'm a liar. I'm a dirty, dirty, horrible liar. I'm sorry. Because I'm not liking the verticality of this dungeon. I'm like, oh no, I don't want to go up and down another freaking ladder. And by ladder, I mean elevator. Same thing, right? Totally. So, you know, we're aware that I'm immune to standard weapons like steel and stuff like that, which this guy here is wow, he actually was able to hurt me. What is this guy carrying? Okay, I don't think he had a standard steel weapon. He's not a guard. You know, the guards, they tend to use very crappy weapons, but I guess this guy might have had something slightly more impressive. Or actually, I'm not even sure. Do those things only apply to me when I'm in werewolf form? That might be only when I'm in werewolf form. But anyways, when I'm in werewolf form, you know, I'm immune to that. But and I'm sure you all know this because you're caught up on your I don't want to say lore. Your werewolf no that silver weapons do. I can't remember how much more damage to me, but they're like it's quite a bit. Oh, I can't carry the map. Not like I'm ever going to explore those areas, so I'm not really disappointed. So never mind. Really? Now I'm feeling bad. I'm like, no, the map, man. You gotta get the map, just for the sake of getting the map. Is there something here that I can do away with? You know what I'm going to do? I know exactly what I'm going to do. I am getting close to being out of time, and I tried reading a book a little while back. I think it was King Edward Part 2, but the game decided it was going to go ahead and, you know, cut off half the text, and that was really annoying. Now, the text is all present, it's just the game is really bad at displaying it, so if we look in the game's files, we can go ahead and get the full story. It's easier for me to just look it up online, which is what I'm going to do. Now, I hate doing this because I like playing games and experiencing them as they are in the game. So if the book is not being presented properly in the game, I will tend to just say, screw it. It's not my fault. The game developers should have made it more compelling. They should have fixed things, made things work. So I'll tend to just be like, whatever. But for this case here, because I'm doing it for you guys, I'm going to go ahead and read the copy straight from the files without the text being cut off. So we're going to be reading King Edward Part 2 without things being cut off. So I'll be right back. We're going to have story time, and then it's going to be the end of the episode. Alright, since I am reading it from the interwebs, that's why it's not on the screen, but you can feel free to enjoy this lovely hallway. I've decided to sit down and sort of go into crouch mode so that we can more simulate sitting on the ground. So, we're going to start right from the beginning. King Edward, Part 2. Edward woke to a red sky. The sun was just peeking over the western mountains. They were nearing a glittering tower, fire flashing from every facet. The dragon veered to fly nearer and shot a long blast of flame. A light flashed several times from the tower's top as they dropped suddenly. Edward's stomach felt very peculiar. He sighed and stirred and felt Morlin shift so that his right arm now held Edward. He stretched and yawned. Not much longer now. It's several days by horse from the Crystal Tower to Firsthold, but I judge that Akatosh will have us there within the hour. We're not stopping at the tower? Ilric, do not use that name so lightly, not even to me. The Archmagister will not return for days yet. Unicorns are brothers to the wind and travel as fast, even burdened, but not as fast as dragons fly. You see the elven homeland at dawn from the back of a dragon. Count yourself fortunate among men. Edward's gaze roamed the deep green woods and rugged hills. There was no sign of habitation. It's lovely, he said politely, but not so beautiful as High Rock. He added out of loyalty and truth. There are no towns or villages or farms? The firstborn live nestled deep in the trees, and they do not tear up the earth and plant anew, but take gladly what Oriel offers and make return. Ah, the green smell of growing things. Indeed, the air was as heady as the wine Edward used to sip from his father's cup before. I'm hungry. I expect so. A bit of shifting, and Morland's left hand produced a small leaf-wrapped package. The dusty hand was large and strong, and looked neither human nor animal. Edward stared at it with revulsion, then took the package gingerly, so as not to touch the hand. He felt Morland stiffen, and the hand that held Edward relaxed its grasp a bit. Edward felt ashamed of his reaction. It was neither kind nor wise to give offense in the circumstances. Morland could quite easily drop him overboard. I need to bathe, but so do you, he said stiffly. Morland was deliberately misinterpreting the reaction. Edward knew. Yes, I'm very dirty. Edward bit into the cake, which proved much better than it looked. My lady mothers used to seeing me like this. My lady mothers... I'm sorry, that sentence doesn't make any sense to me. At least she used to be, but perhaps I should bathe first. I think you will not be offered that choice. Ah, at last. The dragon spread its wings, sent a huge gout of flame soaring skyward and dropped to earth in a large clearing. The landing was abrupt and jarring. Elves appeared quite suddenly, and arms reached up to take him and Shag, who woke at last, ran frantically in circles, and then sat panting at Edward's feet. A tall elf with fiery hair like copper greeted them formally. Greetings, my lord king. Your lady wife awaits you, Prince Edward. I welcome you to the land of the firstborn on behalf of all its people. May your stay here prove pleasant and productive. Morlin nodded deferentially. Thank you, my host. My queen has waited long enough. We will go to her now. Morlin's hand on his shoulder steered Edward toward the largest tree he'd ever seen. The trunk was hollow. Steps inside led up. Openings gave out onto more steps and bridges along and among the mighty branches. They proceeded along these until they reached a large canopy platform, furnished with seats and chests as if it were a room. A golden-skinned woman smiled at them and waved them in, then left. A tall, slender, pale-skinned, dark-haired human woman, paced toward them, her eyes on Edward. Only Edward. "Why did you leave us?" The cry came from deep inside, ringing through him. It stopped her several paces from him. Now her eyes lifted to Morlin, who said in a harsher tone than Edward had yet heard from him, "Thou wilt address my mother with respect, cub." A glancing blow made his eyes water. Alira crossed quickly to Morlin and placed her hands on his chest. Greeting my husband. All praise to Natorgo for bringing you and my son safely to me. Thank also the Lord of the Dragons and the Bandit, who could not have lifted the boy more neatly himself. The Archmagister had somewhat to do with it as well. Morlin's dusky hands came up to hold her bare arms slightly and tenderly. He laughed, looking relaxed and happy, but the hands against his chest formed a barrier as much as a caress. "I am blessed indeed, but it has been long since my son and I have spoken. We may find words more easily if we seek them alone together." Morlin's smile vanished instantly. "Are words then a thing which two can find more easily than three? Well, perhaps. At times, wife." He turned on his heel and left. The bridge swung and creaked, but his feet made no sound at all. Alira watched after him, but he did not look back. Edward felt again the curious mix of satisfaction and regret that came with giving pain to his enemy. "Edward, my son, come and sit by me." Edward stood where he was. "Madam Mother, I have waited many years and traveled many leagues to have an answer. I will wait no longer, nor go one step further." "And what have you been told?" "That you were most treacherously kidnapped by night with the aid of magic, while my father slept, trusting in the honor of his guest." "Your father told you that? And Morlin?" "Said that you came full willing. I would hear what you say." "Would you hear why I left your father, or why I did not take you with me, having chosen to go?" Edward paused, thinking, "Madam, I would hear the truth. Therefore I must give the truth. I would hear why you left me behind. The other I think I know as much as I can or would know, unless you wish to tell me more or other." "The truth? Truth is not a single thing existing apart from those who apprehend it. But I will tell you my truth, and perhaps then you may arrive at your truth." Alira walked back to a softly pillowed chair and composed herself. Nearby, a small ruby-colored bird settled on a branch and trilled an accompaniment to her soft voice. Holy crap, this is a long story. I'm like halfway through. "My parents arranged my marriage, as is the custom of our homeland. I did not love Corsair, but in the beginning I respected him and tried to be a good wife. He did not care for me, nor did he take care, and so he lost my respect, and I died a little each day, withering like an untended plant. I was happy, only with you, but Corsair thought I was making you too soft. Womanish, he said, and so after your third birthday, I was allowed to spend only an hour each day with you. I listened to your cries and sat weeping, without heart for anything. Finally, you ceased crying and asking for me, and my heart was left empty. I formed the habit of walking and riding much of the time alone, save for a guard or two. Then Morlin came. He wanted to mine for ebony in the Rothgarian mountains. The land he wanted to use was part of my dowry. He was willing to train our people in the arts of its use and even to give them weapons of dark elf making. In return, our people were to aid him in keeping the goblins away and allow him to form a colony of his people in High Rock. Corsair had no use for the land, and he wanted the weapons very much indeed. There are none better. So he favored the proposal. There were many details to be discussed and arranged, and it fell to me to conduct these negotiations. Corsair despises dark elves, and he was jealous of Morlin, who was already famed as the finest fighter in all Tamriel. But Morlin is more than a skilled fighter. He's well-read and interested in everything under the sun. He sang and played as if taught by Jeff Free and Jim Say both. He was a companion such as I'd only dreamed of. That and no more, I swear. We both loved to be outside, so our discussions took place while riding and walking, but always accompanied by his men. and courtiers. I think I used the wrong voice. When all was arranged, Corsair gave a great feast to celebrate the treaty. All of High Rock nobility came, and many from other provinces. I think this is still the mother talking. At the end, Corsair was deep in his cups, and it let fall an insult that could only be washed out in blood. I had long since retired with the other ladies, so I know not what it was, but I'd heard enough in private to know that Corsair had a store of such to choose from. Morlin gave the challenge and gave Corsair until noon, that he might recover such wits as he had. Then Morlin came to me, alone in my chamber, and told me what had befallen. "Milady, I think he will choose your brother as his champion. In any case, there will be a river of blood between us that may not be crossed in this life or any other. I can live without your love, but I would not have your enmity. Come with me now, as wife or honored guest, as you choose, and you shall serve as blood price instead of your kith of kin." And there in the moonlight, in my terror, with my lady sleeping about me, I knew I loved him, doubted that I could live without him, and yet I loved you more, my son. I whispered, "I can't. Milady, you must choose. I am sorry. You see, don't you, Edward? If I stayed, it meant my brother's death, his innocent young blood, or your father's, or possibly that of the man I loved, though I counted that most unlikely. Morland's fighting skills alone were supreme, and in an affair of this sort, he would be entitled to call on magic aid as well. We could take him with us, but Morland shook his head sadly. That will not do. It would go against my honor to part father and son." Leaving love alone, I am trained to duty, Alira said proudly. "Should I have robbed you of your father or your loving uncle, and I thought it likely that Corsair, should he survive, would somehow blame me for the affair and use it as an excuse to put me away. I thought that Corsair would be pleased to have me gone. I knew he wanted the weapons very much. I could trade them for time with you, I thought. All this passed through my mind while Morland stood waiting, not looking at me. Lady Mora, help me choose wisely, I prayed. You truly want me as wife. I could bring you nothing but trouble." "Alira, I would have you as wife, and I want nothing but yourself." He shed his cloak and wrapped it round my body, pulling the bedclothes away. "Morlin, wait, is this right? What I do? Milady, if I thought this wrong, I should not be standing here. Of the choices you are given, this one seems the most right." He swung me up in his arms and carried me to his horse, and so I left your father's house, Cloud only in his cloak and riding before him, and wild joy mixed with sorrow so that I scarce knew how I felt. That is my truth. Edward said quietly, "But he has parted my father and me in the end." "With great reluctance, and only because the dragon says that you and your father were in truth already parted in heart. It is only a matter of more leagues, which provide a measure of safety to you. Morland insisted that you should freely consent to come. You are as free to return anytime you wish." Morland would have just taken me. It was, the Archmagister who insisted that I must consent. He is not a patient man by nature, and he's anxious to do Corsair no harm. Doubtless he felt the discussion could be carried on as well elsewhere. He called him king of the small cock and laughed. "Why? Are Daggerfall cockerels smaller than Ebonheart birds? And what does it matter anyway? My father was very angry. I think he would have liked to fight, but it's true he hates me. I knew that, but I didn't want to know, so I pretended not to. I don't suppose Morland would do that." "No. He'd lie, though. He thought about telling me he was my father. I could see it." Alira threw back her head and laughed, her pretty rippling laugh. He remembered it from long ago, and it sent shivers down his back. He must have wanted to claim it very badly indeed, if he let you see it. He's usually quicker than that, and he does not lie under oath, or to hurt those he loves. "He doesn't love me. He doesn't even like me." "But I do, my dear son. You, Edward, thought she was going to say he'd grown. Adults always remarked on his growth, even if he'd just seen them a week ago. Very strange, since he was small for his age. Instead, she said, 'You're just as I thought you'd be,' with deep maternal satisfaction." Holy crap, I still have so much more to read of this thing. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna have to end it there, because, this is just crazy. This is crazy long, and at this point here, I'm losing the story. This is probably a much better book to read on your own and not have narrated to you, because I can't tell who's talking half the time and whatever. So if you liked the video, you know, at least up until the book, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, go ahead and leave it a thumbs down. Either way, let me know what you thought in the comments section. Next time, we're going to go ahead and we'll finish this book, and I'm not sure if I'll read King Edward Part 3. But until next time, I would like to ask you all to game on.